Well, I'm in the process of building a 3 spindle shaper, and I didn't want to go through all the details, but what I did, I built a square box about 4 inches, just enough to hold the pillow blocks, and then of course I've got my pulleys at the bottom, got my shaft stuck up there. And what I have learned from building these over the years is that you have to keep this shaft as short as you possibly can, because what happens is when you get more than one spindle, there's going to be some vibration somewhere, and it's going to cause some oscillation. So, and it won't be just one spindle, it's all of them, and it's very annoying. You can't get anything to settle down right. You can't get any milling done, can't get anything done because of the way it oscillates so bad. So, and that's what I found out, is that the shafts were too long and they were just causing this vibration. Anyway, so what I did, built this box, started it up with some corner brackets, and then after the corner brackets, then I put these, I'm going to call them whatchamacallits, gizmos or something. No, gizmo's not the right word. Well, anyway, they're 2x6s cut down, because I had to have a good straight edge on all of them. And so I've got 2, 4, and 6, and of course the pillar blocks are in between them. And there too, that'll take out some of the vibration. And then what this does, it's going to fit down inside this box I've built. Alright, let me set this thing in there. I've got some blocks on 2 sides, that side and this side over here, so it'll only go down so far and stop. I got me some windows cut out so I can go in here and adjust the pulleys and the shafts, because once this thing's set up, it's not moving anymore. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set up a shaper. We're going to build these old style wooden windows, and then you turn this thing on in the morning and it's going to sit there and run all day long. You know, a router is going to be so cotton picking noisy, you're not going to want to listen to that all day, but with this thing you can listen to this thing. It really won't be making that much noise. Then we're going to pull this thing up to where the top's going to sit on here, and of course the top is going to screw to all these 2x6s so that everything is good and strong. Now, running 3/4, 3 cutters, you need at least a 1.5 horse 220, and it needs to be totally enclosed, fan cooled. I'm going to show you where the motor is. Okay, the motor's in the front, and it ties on to 2 spindles, as you can clearly see there. I tried running 3 of them, but what happened was the belt vibrates so much that it's causing the spindles to oscillate again, so we just come down to 2. What I've got here, see, I can adjust. I adjusted the spindle, left this opening here so I can adjust the spindle, and of course the belt height. Up above here you can see I've got that cutter, and I'll show you what they're going to be doing. And then over here I've got a slaughter set up over here, so that way we turn one machine on, we get 2 cutters going. This one that's left behind, I'm going to end up, I've got 1 more cutter that goes on here, and the only bad thing is we're going to have another motor on here just to run that one, which is not a big deal, but It's just going to make this thing a little bit heavier. Here's the other one. Same thing. And then I've got the cope. This is the coping. And this is the milled edge. And so what we're going to be doing, this is for window sashes. The slotting cutter on the other machine does this part. And then of course this cutter here is going to do this part. As you can see, what I've got is I've got to block the right distance from that blade, so I don't have to have a bearing or anything to where this thing would cause to chatter. And that way I don't have to have a real heavy tie down. Alright, this part's going to be the mill part. So now we've got the coping part and the mill part. Now what we need is we need the dado in the bottom of this for our glass. Okay, there's two reasons why I have this slotting color, and one of them is to go ahead and get my edge cut on our window pieces, because when I run it through the other one, it doesn't, and you know what I'm talking about, blow out the edge of the finished edge on our piece. If you don't have a slot of some kind across there, it chips out along the edge, and then you don't have much of a piece. So that's what this does here, but also is so that we could get the lower window check rail. And this is what I'm talking about. See, we have, this is an inch and an eighth, and then it's got this chamfer on the back, anywhere from 7 to 10 degrees depending on who made it and when. We've got our milled edge, and then this is the slot for our window to slide up in our lower window sash. So we've already run our milled edge, and then what we do now is that we turn this on, and all we do is just that slot right there, and that's all this piece gets, and then we're done with this one. But now we get this slot in here, and then we move over here to our dado cutter. You see, we've got this part cut, got our milled edge. We don't have any tear outs or blowouts on our milled edge, and so this one's ready to go together. Now what I'm using on this one is a 1.5 horse General Electric 220, and I've been using this thing for over probably about 15 years now. This thing has been a workhorse, and it's totally enclosed. Capacitor start, capacitor run. I mean, it's a little overkill for what I need it for, but it's perfect. I wanted something that would last for years. On my other one, using a Lesson, Lesson, and there again, it's a 1.5 horse, same thing, totally enclosed. But it's not capacitor run, it's just capacitor start. So anyway, I got a new one, got it on there, and it just purrs like a kitten. You heard how quiet they are, and you can turn these things on in the morning and they can run all day long. Grease your bearings in your pillow blocks, oh, maybe once a week, depending on how much you use it. Well, the next one we'll show you about putting the window together.